You require them to pretend to be happy and to pretend to enjoy it, and it makes an absolute mockery of all human emotion. To me, it's quite vicious. And I think that, again, with regards to Black History Month, I think that it's important to see it in the overall context of the history of American society and Western civilization overall.
Okay, so I'm going to come out of I'm going to come out of Shaheed Bolson. I'm going to come out of that, and I'm going to say assalamu alaikum to everybody that's on right now. We have been experimenting. There you go. I hear you, Sister Martha.
Alhamdulillah.
Very good. So you can hear me. That's good. We're working on this technology, Sister Martha and I. We were working on the technology, and we finally got it to work. So we're going to, inshallah, next week it will, work even better. But what we want to do right now, what I want to do right now, I want to go to, I want to go here. I want to send you the playbook, Sister Martha, of because Kivel, in the next hour, Kivel is going to basically, Kivel sent me this, and he wants me to send it to you. It's what we're going to be doing today as far as real quick sports and real quick sports. And now I have to figure out a way to send it to you. Undo, let me see, share. Okay, so I can copy the link copied, and now I'm going to, well, let me see. I think that I might be able to, let me see, so I do it like, if I do this, but I've opened the document already, and I just want to, compose. I'm going to go compose, and I'm going to say, Martha Nailah Abdullah at, it says, oh, know me. So let me see if I could do that. I can't copy the link. So
and I was about to say, if you copy the link, you can just put it in text.
I know, but when I'm right now I'm on the computer, so that's what I'll have to do. Let me get that. Hold on.
And if you tell me the link, perhaps I can just pull it up on the phone.
Huh?
If you just tell me the link, can I pull it up on the phone?
Well, I should be able to send it to you on this phone. Again, We're working with technology. Alhamdulillah. Okay, it says to forward the text, and I'm going to forward it to know me, Martha Williams, know me. Okay, and I'm gonna. Okay, I sent it to you, Sister Martha.
Okay, to my email or to
know
text?
me.
Oh, to know me.
To the email.
Email?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can receive an email there. Okay.
Okay.
Know me. Okay. It says can't send or receive. Okay, because I got too many in there. All righty. Do info at CWSC.
Okay. Okay. Info at CWSC.
.us.
Okay. Let me see. So it says here. Okay, and then I'm going to, no, that's not what we're doing. Here with info
at
CWSC came straight up.
.us.
Okay.
Okay, it came up. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I just sent it to info@cwsc.us.
Okay, so I shall
Okay.
receive it there. And what we have on the screen here for our listeners on YouTube as well is William Kareem sitting at it looks like a board, a switchboard. I want to say an audio switchboard. If you're aware, with a microphone from the floor up next to that desk that you're seated, where you're seated. And it's a very beautiful presentation of yourself with a beige vest and a white long sleeve shirt. And you're looking down at some papers. But we're there with you as you're in the recording session, it seems like. So I got that from the website on William Kareem, everyone. Executive producer for New Day for Al Islam Community Radio.
Okay, so did you receive the document?
I'm checking William Kareem. Yes, I did. I'm opening it as we speak. You need permission.
Very good.
Request, wait a minute, it says request access. Your request has been sent. So you should get something from where you sent it from to requesting an access to it.
We're working on this technology, boy. Lord. We're working on this technology. Okay, so let me see. So it's probably here that it says, share the document. Yeah. I'm trying. Okay, I gotta figure it via Google. 11/24. Yeah. Okay, it's not asking that request.
Okay, I'm doing the request
Kivel,
again.
Kivel, is that request coming to you? Kivel, is that document sent to System Officer coming to you to open? I mean, I sent it to her, and it's saying that they want to request the confirmation for that document to be shared with her. So, Kivel, is that coming to you? Okay. All right. So System Officer, he said he opened it for you.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. All righty, let me go through that was him live. I heard his voice. I said, that must be a recording.
Yeah, he's on. He's waiting for 12 o'clock, which is 8 minutes.
Okay. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum to our New Day Community Radio and American Muslim 360 listeners. Welcome to Let's Talk. Okay, I have it.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
All right, that's a good thing. Okay, so we have the documents, and it's 11:52. It's just one thing that I really want to mention before we go forward is a young man that has passed away. Kivel, I don't know if you know him. Let me do this here. Let me press record.
The recording has started.
Okay. We got that. And so
I'll do like
now we are now. Okay, so we are now connected with American. Yeah. So this meeting is now being recorded, and it's a Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to cultural. What is it? Cultural
insights.
Cultural insights. Yes. My name is William Kareem. We have Kivel Equon on the phone, and before we get started, we got 7 minutes left in this program. Before we go to the Let's Talk program, I'd just like to report to you some news that a brother named Rashid Hafiz, the owner and founder at Righteous Minds Entertainment, has passed. He's a young brother, man. You know, I mean, you know, he's a young brother that's been in the community a long time, but he's passed. You know, it is what it is. You know, Allah is the one that Allah knows best.
I mean,
as far as that's, you know, Rashid Hafiz. Just to let you know something about him. I mean, I met Rashid Hafiz when he was, you know, with Barakat at one of the Muslim conventions that we used to go to in Chicago. And he was the owner and founder at Righteous Minds Entertainment. He started off doing Barakats. It was called Barakats. And then he switched it over to Righteous Minds Entertainment. His father is a well-known singer in the Muslim community, Bismillah Hafiz. And Bismillah has a print shop. And the part that Rashid would do is, well, let me tell you something about him. He said, I own my own production company in which I have edited various birthdays, weddings, and community events. I would love to stay with the community so my children can have a better tomorrow, and I would like to do work with others outside the community so my children, family, and community can have a better tomorrow. He specializes in CD and DVD duplication and printing, VHS conversions, video editing, and production. He had 322 followers on LinkedIn. Righteous Minds Entertainment started 19 years ago, from 2007. He said, we are a small production company named Righteous Minds Enterprises. We just launched our new website and would like to spread the word to as many people as possible. Some of the services we provided are CD do. We record all occasions, weddings, birthdays, and others. You may have seen our emails about our new website, Righteous Minds Enterprises. He did some work with A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio. He said, I was a DJ on public access. I was a DJ on Al Islam in America on WPAT 930 on the AM dial. That was when I was, me and Imam Ramadan was on WPAT. He came on and he did some DJ and things. And then he recorded and edited video and put it on DVDs called Barakats. So he's passed. His funeral is tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And so there are two reasons why I'm saying this. Tomorrow I won't be on to do Living in the Upload Life system also. I won't be on tomorrow morning. I do at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead
that I cover for you tomorrow, or you want to be okay?
Whatever American 360 would do, that would be good. Yeah. So I wanted to mention that. I wanted to mention that about Rashid Hafiz. He was, you know, he's about your age, Kivel. You probably met him before, you know, but you know, he really was trying to. We did some work together. He was really trying to get into production. He's done a lot of interviews. He interviewed me on Misunderstood. A lot of people he interviewed on his radio and his video program he did at Barakats down there on what's the name of that spot? The spot was in Brooklyn, public access television. Yeah. He had a spot on public access television, and he would bring people down there and record with that. So may Allah bless him with paradise for his good work and his intention. He explains his intention to us. You know, that I would like to have I would love to stay with the community so my children can have a better tomorrow. And I would like to do work with others outside the community so my children, family, and community can have a better tomorrow. So may Allah bless his intention. That's it. He put his intention in writing. That's what he did. Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
So may Allah bless him for writing. I think he had about 2 or 3 children, and he was married. So may Allah bless him. So that's where we're at with that. I wanted to talk about him a little more, but we're getting ready to start the program, which is Let's Talk with Mr. Kivel. Sister Martha, are you ready?
I am ready. I have your picture up as an image for background image, as a straight out image for William Kareem, A New Day for Al Islam Community Radio, that everyone can see while you and I are transferring and sharing and listening to and being a part of Quick Hitters. I'm ready.
Right. Great. Okay. So then what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and start the Quick Hitters program like this.
Yeah, here we go. It's our turn. You with us today, aka Sam, beautiful all. They talking about us here, but we're about to get in here, but we're going to bring this introduction to the whole damn world. It's our turn.
Welcome. Assalamu alaikum to our New Day Community Radio family and American Muslim 360 listeners. What's going on?
Alaikum assalam.
Sister Martha. It's good to hear your voice. It's good to hear your voice and Pop. Good to see you, as always.
Sir. Yes, sir. You see my new hairstyle.
Man, listen, you see my new hairstyle? Don't sleep on. I'm letting the hair grow. Y'all. You know what I'm saying? No bald head for a little while, but we want to welcome you to Let's Talk, a part of the Quick Hitters experience where we bring voice to the voiceless by building a bridge for generations. Of course, I'm your host, Mr. Kivel, and I'm always joined by my pops, the original Muslim rapper from the legendary Muslim group, The Propagators.
That's right.
Green, and of course, our other co-host, Sister Martha from down in St. Petersburg, yes?
That's right.
That's right. Where the weather is fine, come on down.
Oh, man. Well, we're supposed to have a nor'easter coming up this way. They say it was supposed to start. We haven't seen any remnants of it yet, but I'm glad y'all are having great weather. For now, we're pretty decent, and it's a good day, and it's always great when we're able to join in with everybody and have a great conversation. If you're just joining us for the first time or you're listening in and you want to maybe take in some of the video process, you can join the experience today through our live stream, which is available right now on YouTube and Facebook. All you have to do is search up for Mr. Kivel. That's MisterKivel. Mr. Kivel on YouTube or Facebook, and you can jump in live into our conversations, jump on the chat, leave us your questions, your comments, and we surely will get to you. There is no question, none at all. How y'all feeling this morning?
I feel great. I feel great.
Well, I feel great.
You're looking good, baby.
for exercising time and everyone. Action. Doesn't matter what the age.
That's right, man.
Stop, man. I'm telling you, your energy is contagious.
No doubt.
We love it. And just on that, we segue into our first part of the show, which we do every week. We talk about basketball on our segment, Real Quick Sports, where basketball is definitely the first and foremost thing that we discuss. And we're going to dive into it because it has been an interesting week. Pop, Sister Martha, the Celtics, the champions in 2023-2024, had a monumental collapse in a preseason game in which they had 28 turnovers. They were winning this game by 27 points at one stretch. I mean, I watched the highlights and I was completely blown away because I was just about to click the game off. And I said, hey, let me just stay and watch the rest of the highlights. And these guys in Toronto, I mean, when I talk about, man, wanting it, And you can see this year it has been different. I don't know, Pop, have you taken in any of the games so far?
I haven't taken. I've intended to, but I've been watching, football, some of that. But I saw, I did see that. I think it was Jalen Brown. He had this scuffle with someone. Yeah, so that's what I saw. But I'm definitely going to watch the highlights to find out about that Celtic collapse. Definitely.
I mean, just crazy, incredible, man. But again, right now, what we're seeing in the NBA preseason is just a different intensity. I know that the season is going to start very soon, and so these preseason games are really a run-up, and there's like a short runway towards the NBA season. So I think the main players, as well as a lot of the subsequent pieces, are being put into the game. Coaches are making regular season decisions and trying to really push their players to get ready, because I think the season starts this upcoming weekend. So around the 15th week, this week, I believe the regular season begins. And so, also we've got our guy Cooper Flagg, the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. He had a game where he played against his old college classmate. They're not old. They're both young men, 18 and 19 years old. But they did play on the same team last year at Duke. They are now on different teams. Flagg is on Dallas, the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes.
And Knippel, who was also on the team with him, is playing for Charlotte. It was a pretty basic game. Wasn't too much going on. But again, all of the players are playing. That's one of the things just I want to make sure I mention to the audience. It seems like this preseason, all of the NBA players, including the stars, are playing during the preseason. This is very different from what happened over the last 4 or 5 years. The stars would kind of sit out and let the regular or the new players and the bench players kind of play. But this year, they're involved. And, just quickly, why do you think that's going on? Why do you think all of a sudden you've got, like, the main guys, like, participating early as opposed to waiting it out?
Well, let me ask you, did Kyrie Irving play with Cooper Flagg?
No, well, Kyrie was hurt last
He's still out because of the hurt.
Yeah, I believe that he's probably around the facility working out with them to some degree, but we haven't seen him, actually playing with them as of yet. But they say that his projected return will be somewhere around December, January.
What about Anthony Davis? Did Anthony Davis play?
Anthony Davis is playing, and once again, like I said, it's really incredible that the big guns are playing, especially this early, right? So Anthony Davis played, P.J. Washington played, Derek Lively played. The whole contingent of players who are part of the main squad, what we would call the number 1 team, the A team, they are playing. They are not letting the B teams play this preseason. Players are obviously they're being managed. They're not playing, all the minutes of a particular game, but they are playing, basic minutes, 15, 20 minutes, getting their self ready and prepared for the run-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, well, tell us why. I mean, unless Sister Martha knows. I mean, I don't know.
Sister Martha, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. You probably understand this better than anyone. Just like you said, get up and get in action. And I think that's what the players are doing. The main players are getting up, getting in action, and getting out there.
I think a lot of it is expectation too. When you're coming out right off the gate. Well, I ran track. I mean, hey, don't ask me how many years ago that was. But coming out the gate,
right.
You definitely, especially I ran the 4 laps, so you had to pace yourself. So likewise with basketball and with the Celtics, I mean, I'm not a champion for the Celtics since Larry Bird, so I'm in a deep corner away from today. Right. But
the Celtics are not loved still to this day by many people, except their fans. Their fans love them, but everybody else is kind of like, eh.
Yeah, they the team that you love to see get beat.
The team you love to hate. That's right.
Exactly, exactly. So I can understand that.
Right.
I think they had I don't know whether it was a, a reservation of the abilities that they have. Didn't they had well, a lot of teams had a lot of changeovers, but like you say,
Right.
now is that the team that the one with the injury that what his name you
Yep.
just called?
So,
He's with the Celtics.
Oh, Jason Tatum.
yes.
Yeah, Jason
He
Tatum.
along with. I'm glad you bring that up. Jason Tatum is hurt, as well as Kyrie Irving, and they had similar injuries that took them out for the entire year.
So the rest of the
What
team,
about
you
it?
know, has some reservation perhaps that they know they had to perform, but they should
Mm-hmm.
be up to par anyway, physically,
Yeah.
mentally as well.
So the
Completely agree. Go ahead, Pop. Sorry.
yeah, did the Indiana Pacers did that he went out with an injury in the last quarter, was his the same as Kyrie and
Yes.
it
Yes.
was?
Yes. So
Wow.
they all had similar injuries. Kyrie, I believe his injury was less um, comparable to Tatum, but Tatum's injury, um, Halliburton's injury from Indiana, and also Damian Lillard, who was playing in Milwaukee but has now gone back to Portland, which was his original team, the Portland Trailblazers. He's going back there to rehab, but they had the very same injury that takes you out for a year and requires extreme and extensive rehabilitation. Jason Tatum, he looks really great. We've seen some video of him really working on his game. He's already dunking, running. He's out there really practicing hard. But I don't know if they're letting him play in actual games where he's scrimmaging, body to body with other players. Really getting into NBA basketball form. But he is out there working the same way Damian Lillard. I've seen video of Damian Lillard as well as Kyrie Irving, Halliburton as well, working on their continued rehabs and getting better and better. But it doesn't look like any of them will be back until, again, like I mentioned, say like January.
So I have a question for you. And the question is this, I mean, this seems that is this a common injury in the NBA, and why is it, your thought, why haven't they been able to solve it up until today?
Well, it's not a common injury, but what it is a reoccurring concern for basketball players at this stage. What has been said from trainers that I've watched concerning the injuries that have happened to the players we just mentioned, it has a lot to do with the fact that players are stronger, faster, more agile, and are requiring more of their bodies. The body is meant to move in particular ways, and basketball is one where the movements, again, are repetitive. You are doing this over the course of your lifetime, really. And so the fact that players have become stronger, faster, and the game is faster has led to a lot of these injuries because the body is just adapting to in which the speed of the game is growing, but also because the players themselves are really different types of physical specimens today than they were, 20 years ago. They're also playing a lot more basketball. So when you think about basketball players in the 80s or 90s or prior, they may have been seasonal basketball players, meaning that they played basketball during basketball season, but once the season was over, they would return to something normal. A lot of those players had regular jobs, right? As
Really?
players became more, yes, a lot of players were supplementing their actual basketball careers during that period of time, the 80s, 70s, 60s, right, with actual jobs where they were able to take care of themselves because, again, basketball was seasonal and the money wasn't as prolific as it is today. Today, basketball players are all year round players. They play all year round. This is their job. And so they're working on their games constantly all year long. Prior to becoming NBA players or college players, they're playing in these AAUs, right, when they're younger players. So, starting at 6 or 7 years old, they're playing intense basketball throughout their young life as well, where that wasn't what happened when we, as younger players, were actually involved in basketball during the 80s and the 90s. We just went and played basketball. We didn't have trainers. We weren't, participating in these tournaments all year round. There was a switch off. You might play baseball. You might run track, as you did, Sister Martha. You might go and play football or soccer, right? There was some other sports you were involved in other than basketball. And so this is why, according to these trainers, we are seeing more injuries like the one that Jason Tatum and other players have received because of the increased amount of pressure that is placed on the body during this all-year basketball journey that a lot of these players are on.
Now, I have a question then. A lot of it is with the rebounding. And I noticed, known for rebounding was a center. You can't forget him with the New York Knicks. Everybody should know his name right away. Yes, known for butting people with his shoulder. And and of course, Carl, the one who never, I don't think he got a ring, that was with the Treble. Karl Malone, yes, the mailman. And then Utah Jazz, thank you. And then we go to no one compared to Dennis Rodman rebounding. He would go up and he's coming down with that ball. So I'm looking at that as saying rebounding. Point guards are good, getting the points. You can almost rely on those 3-pointers if you closed out from the center. But I think their work on making sure that they have I know Boston has had a replacement for their rebound. I don't know if Anthony, no, it's another gentleman, Luca Garza, I think. But anyway, when I heard the name Anthony, my mind went to Anthony Hardaway with the Orlando Magic that we had first before he went out west. But alhamdulillah, yeah, I'm looking at rebounders.
You know exactly what you're talking about. That there, as a matter of fact, that young man, his name is Anthony Pickup for the Boston Celtics. I didn't see him going over there in any of the videos or any of the pages that I follow regarding basketball. I didn't notice he was over there until yesterday when I was watching the highlights of Boston. And that was a great pickup for Boston. He's a young man. He is very exciting. He is extremely skilled. He has only grown better and better over the 4 years he's been in the NBA. And
well, he come right out of Bradenton right here. I mean, he played in Bradenton, Florida.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He's an excellent player. He's an excellent player. I mean, he came out of school and they drafted him young. I think he was 18 at the time they drafted him.
Yeah, he was just born in 99.
I'm telling you, he is such a good player. He is a young man who has great potential. And even though we don't like Boston, Boston is not my favorite team. Obviously, I'm a New Yorker and I'm a New York Knicks fan. But I do love great basketball. And when you see great play or young players with the potential to grow on a team, it really excites me to see what's next. So I think that Anthony Simons on the team with Jaylen Brown there in Boston, Peyton Pritchard, the young guy, man, out there, number 11, the young white guy, man, he can shoot the lights out.
He can shoot, yes.
So can Anthony Simons. So I think the two of them together with Jaylen Brown, and then inevitably, Jason Tatum's coming back. And so you add Jason Tatum back into that mix with this group, and, they've had some time to mesh. This might be a really good team moving forward, and we'll see. Obviously, I want the Knicks to take advantage this year. We have a great opportunity this year to pull off a victory, or at least go to the Eastern Conference Finals, possibly play for a championship. But that young man is one to watch. I'm very excited to watch what happens with Anthony Simons this year.
Well, I'll tell you this here. I tried to get some tickets to go to the Knicks game. The ticket prices is crazy. So, and they're very difficult. Tickets are really difficult to get, and even if you sit in the bleachers, the tickets are very, very expensive to do that. So you have some very dedicated Knicks fans that are buying those things up, man.
No question, man. And again, the NBA preseason has been going tremendously well. There are going to be tons of fans out there supporting the teams because they're looking good. The Knicks are looking great. I'm telling you, almost all the teams look really good because there are young players coming in. The skill level is high. There are expectations for great teams to do well, but there are expectations for teams that are at the bottom to step their games up and to at least make runs for things like the play-in, for things like the last playoff spots, the 8th, 7th, and 6th spots. There are a lot of things out there for us to really get excited about with the NBA season. So please make sure you're paying attention. We're going to switch goals. We're going to switch paths really quick, man, because a lot of this real quick about the WNBA. The WNBA Finals is over, and the Las Vegas Aces have been crowned the champions again for the WNBA playoff championship series, which has been tremendous, man. The Las Vegas Aces, swept the Phoenix Mercury in the first ever 7-game series format for the WNBA, and the won 4-0, with, of course, our girl Asia Wilson claiming Finals MVP. She had an extraordinary series. Her career stats, they include 21.4 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 2.3 assists a game. All right, she's a 3-time WNBA champion, 2-time WNBA Finals MVP, and a 4-time WNBA MVP. She is also a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and has won Rookie of the Year award. This woman is laying her legacy down like nothing we have ever seen coming out of either male or female basketball.
Yeah, I see more of her. I see more of her now in mainstream media and in social media. You see more of her now. But she does play for the Las Vegas Aces.
Las Vegas Aces, that's her.
Well, I'll tell you, I know that there have been many people, I know that Las Vegas really appreciates her because, with this inflation and everything, I know people are spending money to go out there and at least see the Las Vegas Aces do what they do. So they may be holding up the economy of Las Vegas, Las Vegas Aces.
Listen, all I say, man, is that imagine this is a women's team. This is a women's team in Las Vegas that is producing high value numbers. I want to just mention this, that the WNBA's viewership is up 1.5 million views in terms of their games. So the eyeballs are there at this point for the women's game. And the women's game, I believe, will continue to grow with its exposure. And it being in Las Vegas isn't bad. Asia Wilson as an ambassador of the women's game, the way that she plays, the way that she talks, the way she's capable of continuing to dominate over the years and be consistent, has really become a voice of the WNBA, and we have to pay homage to that. Her stats, let me just read some of her accomplishments. Matter of fact, Sister Martha, why don't you take that for us?
Well, I will say, yes, as I'm surveying, because I had not rendered a lot of attention, but I am enthused to know that women are overall, in a diverse arena of being useful. I put it that way. And when I think of rebounds, though, I'm thinking of, oh, women don't need to be going up and coming down, but alhamdulillah, but their shooting ability. I'm just going to mention now two other teams, the Minnesota Lynx and the Atlanta Dream. As I'm reading here, and their winning percentages, the Minnesota and Las Vegas and Atlanta Dreams are tied with a 30-14 record winning wise, and Minnesota Lynx though have a 34-10 winner. Now, when you go to the individual statistics, well, I'm just now reading on that. Let's see if I can go to Las Vegas. Well, they're giving the team. So let me send it back over to you because I have a total team scoring and their percentages. I don't have the individual.
All right, I'll jump back in for a minute. We'll just talk a little bit about Asia. Asia, her career numbers are incredible. Her career averages are 21 points a game, 9.3 rebounds a game, 2.3 assists per game. She, again, has been a 3-time WNBA champion, 2-time WNBA Finals MVP, 4 times WNBA Most Valuable Player. 1 time she was the Rookie of the Year, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 6-time All-Star. And in 2023, she became the first WNBA or NBA player to win the scoring title, the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and the Finals MVP, all in the same season. So we're talking about somebody who is laying down a legacy of winning, competitiveness, and excellence that is going to have to be chased for years to come, because and she's not done. That's what's even more incredible, that she's not done. And these are the types of numbers that she's been putting up and accomplishments that she's been making. So again, I think the WNBA is really pushing itself into the mainstream media, into mainstream America, and continuing to develop an audience that is going to
I got a question for you, Val. I got a question for you. And we got to ask this question. Because, we're doing a lot of, we really big up in, our girl, Asia. Yeah. But so, where does she stack up against Caitlin Clark? I don't even hear about her.
It's silly. It's silly to even have a conversation where, because there is only one thing that Caitlin Clark brings to the table that A'ja Wilson doesn't bring to the table, and that's the fact that she is supported by white America in a different way. And it's just a simple understanding. It's not anything that's racial or anything. It's just that.
What can you tell us about the stats and how her stats measure up? Because I think it was her stats.
Her stats actually don't measure up to A'ja Wilson's.
Yeah, because Asia's already in.
But this becomes the question. Was A'ja Wilson playing when Caitlin Clark was playing?
Yes.
Okay. So what was the big difference that happened here? Because did Caitlin Clark's team win?
No, Caitlin Clark's team is at the bottom of the WNBA. But Caitlin Clark is the #1 pick who was brought in because she, and again, it's no disrespect to say this, it's just the truth, that white folks in America spend money to watch basketball games, right? That's an understood thing, right? Caitlin Clark, as a young white woman who could play basketball and shoot from 35 feet like Steph Curry, is extremely appealing. And because she's that appealing, you want to push her out into the front. But Caitlin Clark is very aware of it, and she herself gives great accolades and reverence to Asia Wilson, and to the other players who built the WNBA before she walked into the doors. She understands what she is and what she means to the WNBA. And I think the players do as well. So Asia Wilson understands what Caitlin Clark means to the WNBA as well. She's not oblivious to that. But when we're talking about who, in terms of basketball, is a better player and is a player who represents what we want to see on a basketball court on a winning team with aspirations of championships, it's Asia Wilson.
Well, I got another question because it sounds like Caitlin Clark did a lot to improve the NBA. Was it because of the contract she was getting, or was it also because of the salaries that increased for all of the players during the NBA? What was it that she brought in that they made such a hoopla about her and how she benefited?
She brought in more eyeballs. People were interested in watching her shoot 30-footers. But then you also, as the games began to be played out and the season played itself out, you realize that she has a lot to work on as a young player. She's still a very young player who's coming into a league of women who have been professionals for some women over 10 years, right? You're talking about women who have put in the work. So Caitlin is doing a great job. I think we've all been amazed at the way in which she's handled, knowing that she is the bright light for the WNBA in terms of its sponsors, in terms of bringing in tickets, bringing in more advertisers, bringing in more networks to actually promote and push the WNBA. But there are very talented women who are already in the WNBA doing a hell of a job, and she has been very respectful and understanding that she, as a young player, needs to pay homage and respect to those who have built the brand in which she's continuing to push forward, but she is joining them and the journey that they have really been on to make it a great league, and assisting and pushing it further with what she brings to the table as a great player.
One more question, and yeah, as a occasional watcher of the WNBA teams, this is basically the first year that I heard about Asia Wilson. I heard about Caitlin Clark, and the other player that I heard about all the time was Reese. What's that woman's name? Reese somebody? Witherspoon or something like that? Is that her name?
Reese Witherspoon is an actress who plays on the morning show.
Okay, yeah, but Reese, what's the name of the...
You're talking about Angel Reese.
Angel Reese. I mean, so what is her part in it? Because they was talking about her all the time at one time.
It's literally, and again, let's just be honest, it's black and white, right? It's Magic and Bird. Right? It's Magic and Bird. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were Magic and Bird, right? The female Magic and Bird. So what they were able to do is inject race into the conversation and see how it was that these two women who were of two separate races, who have had conflict, the races have had conflict for hundreds of years in this country, are playing out this symbolic battle on television and in between those basketball lines. So that's why you know about Angel Reese and about Caitlin Clark.
Right.
They took an opportunity to do the same thing that they did with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird in 1979, 1980, when the NBA used Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and their races, along with the fact that they had played each other in college, and took that energy and moved it over to the NBA, which then sparked the resurgence and the skyrocketing of his popularity. And clearly go back to it. I think the game between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird is still the highest rated basketball game of all time in collegiate championship history. That literally white people wanted to see the black guy lose, and black people wanted to see the white guy lose, and so eyeballs were glued to the screen. And again, in time, what else were you watching in terms of network television, right? 1979, 1980, you didn't have hundreds of choices. You had 7 choices, right? So they were able to procure that and pull it in, and they did the same thing with Angel Reese and with Caitlin Clark and have been extremely successful in pushing this narrative. Again, Caitlin Clark, the young, white, exceptional player against all the black women who are super incredible players. You've got this dynamic playing out, and the WNBA is utilizing it to its best of its ability.
Wow. But Sister Mark, I just wanted to say before you come in, but that dynamic that you just mentioned that plays in American culture, I mean, it goes all the way back to Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson against the. It goes back to Jackie Robinson. The Jackie Robinson. Serena, the Williams sisters. It just that dynamic and that thing is played. It continuously has been played. And I mean that's what you. And it's obvious now when you see it today. When you talk about it today, it's obvious. So yeah, it's something that can be accepted. I definitely can accept that. But thanks for pointing that out. That's part of our culture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I think that we really love our NBA. We love our basketball, man. We spend so much time on Real Quick Sports. It's now 12:35. We don't play no games. We're gonna have to.
You know that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to condense our conversations around basketball. It gets really deep, man. Or we may have to pop this show out and make this a separate show as we did before, because boy, start talking about these sports, things get interesting. Sister Martha?
I just I'll put it in a capsule this way. Oppression brings out the best of it and everyone, and then succession. And so I see Caitlin on the succeeding end of wanting, but she has her talents. She has what Almighty God has given her. And on the other end, oppression, the young women who have, you remember when they won, there was I can't remember the team, they won the all out game, and they were called, the announcer who got fired for calling them nappy head girls. You'll remember that. He was a good morning show person, or first thing in the morning. But anyway, yeah, those things, those historical stuff that has happened here in this country. And so the elevation, there's so much we can speak about that, but I'll leave it right there on the table, everyone.
Again, I think we can always look at these things, and this show is one where we deviate away from some of the other political conversations that we used to have in the past. At the same time, it's still relevant in our conversations. Sports is a microcosm. It is a place where you can look at the things that are going on inside of sport and then connect it to the macro world.
Tiger Woods.
It's very simple. Because we are people. We are people, and the players are people, and the fans are people, and the coaches are people, and so inevitably we're just talking about people. And people naturally do. It's just that they have a different spotlight on them because of the fact that they're in this particular arena. But at the end of the day, it's human nature that we're watching,
and it's a business.
And
yes,
and it's a business with human beings who make decisions. But I say, again, let's move on real quick. We're going to move through the next process. Because we play no games. I'm telling you, this show is going to have to turn into its own show. I can see it happening now. Let's move into quick hits, where we're going to talk a little bit about somebody who, of course, is political, of course, is controversial, is my guy Kanye West. All right? I bring up Kanye West, man, because Kanye is musically a genius. When it comes to Kanye and him being a marketing genius. no question. But it surely has cost him a lot in his own life, mentally, spiritually.
Why would you say that he's a genius? I never got that. Why a genius?
Well, again, I think that for the purpose of the show and the timing of the show, we had 12:39. Let's go through the list and let's go ahead and see what we have here, okay? First and foremost, let's just read. Kanye is regarded as one of the greatest rappers of all time and one of the most prominent figures in hip-hop. He is known for his varying musical style and polarizing cultural and political commentary. Polarizing, as you
Polarizing.
My father was ready to go into the polarizing part.
No question he is.
Instead of the fact that he is one of the most prominent figures in hip-hop. And that's what we do in quick hits. We work about the hits and not always about their politics. So
I don't know any of his songs.
One, right? Well, first and foremost,
you know the one called Jesus Walks. Jesus Walks.
The one Through the Fire. Through the Fire was the first one. Through the Fire was a song that he did where he was in a car crash and his jaw was wired shut. And he went into the studio, recorded this song, Through the Fire. This was the first song that people really got excited about Kanye West about. And it was truly, truly an amazing piece of music. Jesus Walks, number 2. Jesus Walks was playing in clubs. It is the craziest thing ever that someone was able to make a song that was regular, had nothing to do with drugs, death, and destruction, but had to do with growing in your spirit, and it was being played inside of clubs. It was playing inside of cars, people knocking it, walking down the street. So, again, just transcendent in the way in which he was able to do some things. Flashing Lights, another great song. The song really deviated from some of his other music, but was extremely powerful in the way in which the production was done. Again, Kanye, before he was a rapper, he was a music producer and a well-respected music producer who was working with the biggest artists of the period, the time period. And because of that, he was able to procure a rapping contract from Rockefeller Records and begin to do his own music, which he not only wrote the rhymes, but produced the music. And so, again, to answer your question, Pop, really quickly, that's why we say he's a genius.
So can I play a little bit of a clean version of this song, of both of them?
And Jesus Walks, because that's more on the prison.
You know, Kanye, she knows him, but, you know, she just...
Ultralight Beam was definitely another incredible song by Kanye. Again, going outside the spectrum of what we thought and expected. And Pop, what I would like for you to play is I would like for you to find the song Impossible, right? Impossible. Impossible is a cinematic slow burn anthem you might have missed, but never forget once you hear it. It was released in 2006 for the Mission Impossible 3 soundtrack, where Kanye laced his track with haunting strings, militant drums, and the signature chip on his shoulder soul. Twister, who is also a rapper from Chicago, similar to Kanye, brings the urgency, and Keisha Cole, who is an R&B singer who's had some major hits, brings the ache, and Kanye brings the vision. Black survival is something impossible in theory, but inevitable in practice. It's bigger than a soundtrack cut. It's a declaration, and it sure was. One of my favorite Kanye songs, this right here, Pop, is Impossible.
Okay.
Kanye, yeah, that's so impossible to get it. That's so impossible to get it. That's so impossible to get it. Ain't no way to just go to the party in the Benny, but we ain't getting club like this. Ain't no way that you can cook up in the studio with Kanye and get it juking in the club like this. Ain't no way that you go in. Never hit the top when I'm sipping on my skin. I like it when she's sipping on her skin. And like a mom, I'm hollering at her skin. You can ever be the nicest. You don't get gangsta or get righteous. You ain't never stood on a tip like this. You ain't never stood on a tip like this. But you think if you don't wanna win it, get up with your ass. Go for joy. Go up the line. Let's play some pride.
So that's impossible. Okay, and this is the one that you know. I know you know this one. I know you know this one, Sister Martha.
Well, hold on. Let's not go there. We're not
Okay.
gonna get into that, Pop, because we're gonna move on, right? What I wanted to
What I want before you do that, what we have to do, the prayer is in. So what we have to do, we have definitely play because it's wow, it's 12:44. It comes in at 12:44 now, man.
Wow.
So we have
There in New York,
yeah.
1:30
All right,
here in Florida. 1:23 actually.
Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ameen.
I mean,
It's time for the door prayer. So if you have your opportunity to make your prayer, make your prayer. We will be making our prayer as we continue with New Day Community Radio and American Muslim 360 Cultural Insight with your host, Mr. Kivel.
Hey, listen. As always, we appreciate the opportunity to check in on our spirits. That's without question. Thank you, Pop. We were moving on. We were just finishing up with Kanye West, Impossible. And the reason why I chose Impossible is just because I know how much Kanye West is a triggering figure, but there has been a lot of music that he has created that is inspirational, that has a lot of joy and positivity in it, and it is at times the music you don't get to hear. And so Impossible is one that was kind of buried. A lot of people don't play it. A lot of people don't know it. But it's a song that, again, really speaks to the opportunity to do the impossible, be the impossible. And that's something that, again, wanted to spotlight that song as one of those that, you should check out, because it's probably not a song that's really been heard a lot as a Kanye West track. We're going to move on to something else, man, that is truly important to us, and that is quick quotes. Quick quotes is where we celebrate the lyricism of MCs, and today we celebrate one of my favorite MCs, J. Cole. J. Cole is an artist who has been out on the scene for many years. He went to St. John's University. He was also at the same time producing music and showing up outside of record labels that are here in Manhattan, and was able to get his CD in the hands of Jay-Z's people, and then he wound up signing to Roc Nation. He was actually the first artist that Jay-Z signed to the Roc Nation label. And J. Cole has continued to really just become one of the best MCs that we've ever had in hip-hop. This particular track and particular quote that I chose is the quote or part of the song that sparked the beef between J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar. Oh, my gosh. Again, This is from the song that sparked the beef, that took Kendrick to the next level and took Drake down a couple of notches. So we'll just read a little bit of this, which is great. It's J. Cole from First Person Shooter. I'll eliminate the first word. Het, so thirsty to put me in beef. Dissecting my words and start looking too deep. I look at the tweets and start sucking my teeth. I'm letting it rock because I love the mystique. All right, let me read it again. It's incredible. So first to put me in beef. Dissecting my words and start looking too deep. I look at the tweets and start sucking my teeth. I'm letting it rock because I love the mystique. Oh, my goodness, man. J. Cole, incredible artist, man. He was actually referencing where there's a MC, his name is NBA Youngboy, and there was some Instagram tweets that were going back and forth. I mean, X tweets that were going back and forth saying that J. Cole had been ignoring NBA Youngboy as NBA Youngboy was trying to get a feature from J. Cole on his album. And so the internet began creating this beef between them. And J. Cole is basically in these bars saying, I'm not even worrying about you. Y'all are so thirsty to put me into a beef. Dissecting these words and start looking too deep. You can go ahead and play a little bit of it, Pop Man, but this is the song that started the beef. Second my words and start looking too deep. I look at the tweets and start sucking my teeth. I'm letting it rock because I love the sleep. Give me out in the fall off the tree. I run in the dead of me. Bring it down. You can bring it down. Yeah, listen, man.
Really? Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yo, when I tell you, go and read these lyrics, Pop.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to listen to the lyrics, and it's like, really? Really?
Well, the thing is, once again, I only share these things with you as a bridge, right?
Right.
And I'm just sharing with you.
That's right. Sure.
So that you and other listeners who, are of a different generation recognize what is happening in this generation.
There you go.
Around hip-hop.
That's
right. Around hip-hop in terms of what's popping and what has been really impactful, right? This particular song, again, just really impactful because it led to what we saw happen between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. J. Cole was in that, but J. Cole backed out and said, I'm not going to get into all of that, what y'all are talking about. Y'all getting real personal, and it's starting to get ridiculous. So he backed out. People gave him a lot of beef, a lot of backlash because he didn't jump in. And we do believe that J. Cole is one of the greatest rappers of this generation in terms of his lyrical content and the way his flow is, the things that he does. So for him not to want to be in a battle with people who are considered the greatest, the best of the generation was kind of pushed people to take it and took people aback. At the same time, it was a great move because you see what happened with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. It turned really, really personal, got into lawsuits and all kinds of nonsense, man.
Really? Wow. Why did it get into lawsuits?
But it did go that far.
Why did it get into lawsuits?
Because in a nutshell, Drake said that his company, which is the same company that Kendrick Lamar is signed to used the social media platforms and the algorithms to push They Not Like Us into the mainstream media and into the lexicon of folks' livelihoods and their people's lives, excuse me. And he filed a lawsuit, and I don't know if it's still going on, but I believe that it's still in court to some degree because he wants the record company to pay him and his company for the losses that he has encountered. As you know, Not Like Us has become a gigantic anthem, and of course, this song is about him, and he is obviously experiencing some effect from the fact that the song is such a monster.
Tell us why the difference with the They Not Like Us, why that's important. What is the difference with them, and why did that resonate so much?
Well, just quickly and in a nutshell, because I don't want to miss these other two segments. But in a nutshell, what happened was Not Like Us basically has a line in there where it says that Drake is a pedophile. And
I thought it was because it was Canadian. I thought it was because it was Canadian and listening to American.
It has a lot of different parts to it. Again, it's a diss track, so there's a lot of pieces in there
Disrespecting,
that are darts that are shooting straight out at Drake. But that particular part about being a pedophile, that's a serious statement to make about someone called a pedophile.
Right.
So this is where I believe the main part of the lawsuit came into play. Obviously, the algorithm and the success of the song making the record company lots of money, but also the fact that because it's such a big song and it's out there like that, this line about him being a pedophile becomes enlarged. And there is actually a part where, he says, and it's probably A minor, and everybody says that part when it comes. Like, the whole crowd says A minor, and like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the big part of the song. So again, really an incredible diss track in hip-hop, one of the best diss tracks in hip-hop, without a shadow of a doubt. And it'll continue to be something that's connected to this song, First Person Shooter, in which J. Cole was a part of this particular song. Let's move on real quick. It's 12:56, but I don't want to forget this. Art is not a crime. We missed this last week, and I don't want to miss this because this is such an important thing in our graffiti history, especially here in New York. After graffiti crews began tagging the schoolyard walls in the late 1970s, this brother Rodriguez secured permission to establish a legal graffiti zone in 1980. This allowed artists to hone their skills and elevate their graffiti from vandalism to a legitimate art form. The site, deeply connected to hip-hop and East Harlem street culture, is called the Graffiti Hall of Fame. The Graffiti Hall of Fame is located on 106th Street in Manhattan in East Harlem on Park Avenue. And it's actually part of a school. It's a school that the schoolyard, again, in 1980 when the brother went out, his crew was called the Tats, T-A-T-S crew, C-R-U. They went to the school and petitioned to have the schoolyard become a place that they could have graffiti and graffiti artists come and display their talent. And so since then, thousands of artists from all over the world have been to the Graffiti Hall of Fame to paint those walls. And when I tell you it's an amazing thing to see, it is an amazing thing to pass by and know that it is connected directly to the heart of hip-hop and the main components of the culture. The art at the Hall of Fame changes regularly with rotating casts of local and international artists contributing their work. But the constant evolution makes it a dynamic outdoor art gallery. And if you ever have a chance, go check out the Graffiti Hall of Fame. It is, again, on 106th Street and Park Avenue in Manhattan. You can go online and put in Graffiti Hall of Fame, and it'll pop up as well. Just an amazing space to go and check out the incredible artists who have blessed those walls with murals that, I mean, just are so intricate you wouldn't believe that people spent that much time and could do that intricate amount of work with spray cans and out in the elements is truly just amazing. And I didn't want to skip by without mentioning the Graffiti Hall of Fame, one of the true pillars of hip-hop culture in our country. Last but not least, we have a few minutes left.
Well, can I ask some Sister Martha a question? Do they have what's the situation that you may have seen in Florida as far as graffiti is concerned?
Yes, I believe the birth of it, like you say, art is not a crime, and it had to get into the mind of those who were looking at it, their perception. So now Central Avenue in St. Petersburg, Central Avenue, and then 22nd Street, which is known as the African American thoroughfare, so to speak, is lined up with images and stories being told on the buildings, in picturesque wise, and so it's not acknowledged as graffiti. Now I'm going to research that and see from the museum, William, whether that has, because now it's part on the streets, but that had to come up because a lot of older drivers were saying it was confusing to them coming up on a light or something, and to see things. It was mostly with the LGBTQ. I must go directly there with their colorations on the street, but that had to be lifted. But on the walls to the graffiti, yes, that is evidence here.
I also, when we were in Miami down there in Florida, and we found a street. We have tons of video and pictures, myself and Billy the Blast, who is coming up next, as we're going to transition into the conversation, the experience, and the movement, right here on New Day Community Radio and American Muslim 360. It is amazing, the art that we saw out there. I mean, it was on every building, every wall. It was by the Hilton Hotel. They had an entire area. I would say that area was maybe about a mile long, and the walls were covered with extremely intricate and beautiful graffiti. Just amazing what the art looks like down there in Florida.
Yes.
But with that being said, my good people, I thank Sister Martha. I thank my father as well, man, for joining me again on this.
Thank you.
Ride with
this program is just too short, man. It's too short.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. We're going to have to let's talk real.
I had to actually pull back on some of the things that I wanted to say and questions that I had. Especially with you saying these artists is the greatest artists. I would have really liked to have gotten into that with you.
Well, we can talk about that in the next.
Oh, okay.
But right now, and this is where we have to get better, timing on these shows so we can stick within the time slot. Time slot has been given, right? So
right.
What we're going to do is we're going to transition over into the conversation, the experience, and the movement. But I want to say this has been Let's Talk Real Quick, a part of the Quick Hitters experience where we bring voice to the voiceless. If you have any suggestions for future shows, topics, email us at anu.day@live.com.
Live.com, that's right.
Anu.day. Say it again, slower.
anu.day@live.com.
Okay. Because we are looking for current events and promotion.
Oh, let's go. Let's go, everybody. Get to it. I mean,
that's right.
We continue to do what we do. We move into our next hour, which is the conversation, the experience, and the movement, which is a live streaming family legacy broadcast. Of course, you have me, Mr. Kivel I am the experience. My father, Papa Doc, who is the conversation, and we have Billy the Blast.
Billy the Blast. US Bill Blast, US2G. Billy the Screw, scarier than the Amities, paid staff from the Blackwood Rhyme family.
And we will not forget Sister Martha continues to be with us, as you already know, always with us as we walk out.
In the house.
What's good, Bill?
Hey, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing? Sister Martha, it's a pleasure to see, to feel, and be a part of your grace once again. Papa Doc, you know, it's always a pleasure. And Mr. Kivel, you already know how we do, so I'm just happy to be here.
We hear that liveliness from wherever you are. You're sharing it. It's coming all the way to Florida.
Woo!
And you know that. You know Blast spirit is always crazy. Blast, man, talk to us a little bit, man. What's going on, good brother?
Hey, man, everything is going on. I woke up this morning. I'm just happy to be here. You know, I watched the show. You know, I enjoyed the show as well. You know, I'm a sports fan here and there. I don't follow sports too much, but I do participate, you know, and I like what y'all was talking about. The graffiti thing, that place you were talking about, that was Wynwood.
The Graffiti Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's where the whole town is graffiti, and it's a beautiful thing, you know. And I'm just looking out my window. I haven't been in New York in such a long time, you know. Looking out my window is just like, man, I miss this place, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a beautiful thing just to see, and that's the whole part about waking up. I woke up just to see another day, feel another day, taste some food another day, you know, tell someone you love them another day. You know, be a part of something great another day.
Here you go.
You know what I'm talking about? So I'm just happy to wake up.
There you go, favorite. No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? But once we wake up, you know what I'm saying, we got to move. And so, you know, that's exactly what you all about. You know, you about the movement, man. Tell us a little bit more about the movement, King. You know, before we jump into a couple of discussions around hip-hop, especially Pop wanted to have a discussion around Kanye, so we'll definitely jump back into that. But tell us a little bit about the movement, man, and what's going on.
Well, as you know, health is wealth, and movement is medicine. So, you know, we move in that way as well. You know, we wake up, we get our Tai Chi on, you know what I'm saying, where we just move that body, you know what I'm saying? Just
that's right.
Body, work that body. We got a nice joint on the new album called Breathe. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
It's about breathing. It's about, you know, taking the breath. Breath is where creation and life and everything is. You know, we take advantage of it because we have it so easily, but it's the breath. It's the breath. Everything is the breath. The breath brings down the anxiety. The breath brings the peace. The breath brings the understanding. The way you breathe just shows you know that you trust God. You know, just the way you breathe. You know.
True.
So, you know, this is we about the health as well. Movement is medicine, but we also, you know, tapping into, you know, people's mental health, you know, because people go through it. We got a song on the album, new album, The Blast, that's out right now on all music platforms by Billy the Blast. It's songs on there about, you know, going through the pressure. It's a lot of pressure for people, and it's a lot of pressure for everyone. Everyone goes through pressure.
Especially in today's time, there's financial pressures, cultural pressures, all kinds of pressure in America right now.
Emotional pressure, fear, you know, just pressures everywhere. The peer pressure, we can't forget about that. That's the major one. But it's just pressure from all angles. And it's like, you know, we got the song on there, the chorus is like, the pressure's trying to kill me. I think the pressure wanna kill me. The pressure's trying to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like going in like how the pressure's trying to kill me, but then, you know, there's a point in time where you got to understand that pressure is revealing a beautiful thing in you. We think pressure is to harm us. Pressure is to bring out greatness within us. Just like a diamond or you know, olive oil, anything that withstands pressure and becomes refined by it. You know what I'm saying? And then with the chorus start to go into the pressure starting to build me. I'm starting to feel like the real me. I think the pressure's starting to build me, you know, because it's a realization. You know, you can realize that your life is going down, or you can realize it's going up. And what's better than realizing it going up? So that's what we promote over here. We promoting love of community, self, you know, God, self, family, community, world, a mantra, you know, how we live. We promote that heavily in everything we do, because it's in everything we do. And that's what the movement is about, making sure your health is wealth. Understand that your health is wealth, and that your movement is medicine. So not only moving, you know, your body and taking care of your body, but each other.
No doubt. All of those things are true. All those things are very true. I'm a witness. I witness all of those things as he's saying. I gotta get my breathing much better than I have it. I really have to do that. When as far as exercise is concerned, I do a little something. Food and peace and looking for movement. We really are doing that to that degree. And you know, those are things that are really good for the human condition. Yeah?
I know that you do the elliptical, you know what I'm saying, and you also get out, you know, and walk a little bit, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that you get in your movement in. I know you also move around the city. You're not just, you know, relegated to your one space. You'll move into each one of the boroughs, doing different things throughout the borough. So constantly getting your movement in, constantly in that. As a matter of fact, I know we were just last week, we was on the move, traveling upstate, you know what I'm saying? And so we was out there moving around, walking around during the tours and all that. You know,
a lot of walking.
A lot of walking. Pop was going up steps. He was like, "Yeah, I'm glad they got 2 banisters." You know what I'm saying? But he was moving, man. He was moving, and we were up and down. We were out all day. It wasn't a short day. We were out probably till all day.
Yeah, true.
2 o'clock at night. You know, but it was on the move. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I get an opportunity to see and experience a lot of the stuff that goes on with Pop, and I'm also getting my movement in with him. My wife, she's getting her movement in.
Yeah.
And we all up and down, making things happen. Sister Martha, I know you said, you know, you used to run track. What you doing now? That, you know, not only physical movement, but you also do a lot of other movements in terms of pushing things and making things happen out there in Florida.
Yes, and my motto now is keep pressing on. You know, even when you think that you're at the pit, the point of giving up, stopping, and going, no, in a moment, and I'm speaking about walking now, in a moment, I'm going to be where that distant thing is. And so keep pressing on. Mentally, I was in a conversation about organizational processes, how others do their, organizing, structuring the things that you have to do, how you keep it in focus. And different people have different methods, but there is a universal method, and that is you have to think. And then you have to compile, situate, make it feasible for what you can do, and know what you can't do, know your limits. So keep pressing on is what I'm saying to myself. And starting out like Bill Blass was speaking of, you know, starting in the morning, deep breathing, flexing, you know, just your physical self, and preparing for what next moment is going to be about. But realizing that I'm awake, I'm here, I appreciate it. Let me show my appreciation by not just being complacent or lazy or too much thought and not enough action.
Sister Martha, that's the whole thing, is being present, being aware. That what you just said about breathing and just recognizing that you're aware that of where you're at and who you are, and before anything starts, that's a major key. If people can do that, people can tune in to you know, all the great things that life has to offer us, because each one of us is a representation of God. That's why they say that we are God, because we all are representations of God. We all are life forms. We all are He's his creation, and as his creation, as above, so below. We're supposed to be able to manifest those qualities of what God's qualities are. God is love. You know what I'm saying? So just
99 attributes of God. Go ahead, Bill. 99.
And when you in tune with that love, that's a frequency that radiates change in the world. You're changing the world. God knows how to do anything he want to do by using whoever he want to use and whatever he wants to use. But just to understand, we have powers from him that allow us to communicate by just breathing and being aware of who we are. And that's what the Ants movement is about. It's a nation through strength. It's about us being together and understanding that we can't do it without God's help. You know, it's a song on the track about, you know, I can't do it without you, God. I can't do it alone. I wouldn't even want to go on this journey alone without you. I can't do it, God. I need you every step of the way if possible. You know, and that's the thing. That's what God really wants from us. He wants us to want him and need him and love him and glorify him. You know what I'm saying? Because when we do that, we're doing what we're supposed to do, especially when we show it to each other. When we give it to each other, he's extra proud. You know, so that's what the Ants movement is about. It's about a nation through strength, man, loving each other, unity, man, promoting that unity, that love, and that togetherness.
What's the name of the song you're talking about?
It's through the whole song. I can't do it alone. It's all of these things is all in there. These titles.
That's the name of the song. I can't do it alone.
I can't do it alone. That's the name of the song.
Wow. There you go, man.
Sure enough, look that one up and share it with the young minds around here.
You know, it's a beautiful album to share with the kids in the community. You know, it brings up not only a conversation, but it brings awareness to who you are. And that's what our kids need to know, who they are. They need to know who they are. They come from unity.
I want to say this, that, you know, one of the things that needs to be highlighted about the movement, right, what needs to be highlighted about the Ants movement is that it's a community movement, that it's not only a community movement for one place, traveling community to the people. So, you know, just, you know, continuing to build on that idea, you know, just talk a little bit about that as well, you know, about how, you know, it's a traveling process that's bringing the word to the community, bringing the movement to the community.
We're a traveling ministry, you know what I mean? And ministry is just the word, you know, we giving God's word, you know what I'm saying? And that's what our music is about. It's not just about God's word, but it's how God uses us. And it is a great example of how God uses us. One day I just was watching Ants, and I was just amazed at how they're so little and seem so insignificant, but they're building infrastructures, they're building communities, they're building the structures that can sustain weather. You know, they're doing things, cities, and all of that underground. So true. That's what I'm thinking about us. Like, you know, like we need to build.
Bill, what's interesting about that, what you just said, is that when the summer came in, you know, I started seeing these holes, you know, because when I do my walk, my walk in the morning, you know, I was looking and I was seeing these little holes that was coming up out the ground, and I realized that it was ants coming up out of these holes. So that, you know, in the wintertime they're buried, and then, you know, when the weather gets warmer, they pry open these holes and then they come out on the surface. I was like, wow, man, that is just powerful.
Yeah, definitely. And one last thing I want to say to Vel's point, when he asked the question he asked, and I'm going to use it to this, and I hope this could be a segue into the song that we got out, you know, All I Need, because this is what's missing from us and what they're trying to take away from us, that the kids need to experience and understand. When I came up, a village raised a child. Not only did a village raise a child, we all was family. If we lived on the same block, if we lived in the same building, like our struggles were each other's struggles. And that was because we were poor and we didn't have anything. And all we did have was each other. We used to share. We used to take care of each other. We used to have that. That was something that was beautiful. And if you notice that every time they tried to take away from us, we made something beautiful out of it. But so now,
what changed? What changed?
What changed is people now values is about money. They forgot about we was neighbors and we grew up together. They forgot we had history together. It became now I have something and you need to strive. You need to get yourself together. You know, I made it, and now you need to get yourself together. And I'm still making it. And it's not even. It's what America has sold us as far as, you know, you can do it. You can beat. No, we can't do it alone. We need God and we need each other. Period. And that's what's missing from the old school. I don't know how y'all grew up, but I grew up with a village raised me.
Yeah, we did. But, you know, Bill, I think one of the things that really changed with it, I think social media changed it a whole lot. I really do. We were social, because when you're talking about
changed it.
Well, we grew up and it was social. You know, we would go outside and go knock on the door and say, you know, well, listen, can Harry come outside? Or come on, let's go and play some basketball together. Or come on, let's go and play hopscotch. Let's go on and play loadies. Let's go in and play together. Everybody came.
Point.
But now, you know, it's like everybody's on social media and everybody's playing games, you know, through social media as opposed to socializing.
But that's part of the distraction. It started from money. Money made us turn against each other. Money made us think we was better than each other. Money made us look up to who was using the money. It was money.
Yeah, but money is always a part of living.
But when we were coming up, think about it like this, because this was very clear. When we were coming up, we didn't have money.
I want to jump in because that was not my experience.
Mine either.
Y'all don't understand what I'm saying, because y'all think,
you're talking about drugs. Go ahead, Val. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When I grew up, I had money. I grew up in a household with money. That's money.
Not no real money, Kivel. You talking about hood money. We all had hood money. I'm talking about real money, silver spoon in your mouth money.
Once again, I'm just trying to be clear from my experience, right? Because, again, this is what's so important about the conversation, that everybody got their own experience. Everybody brings their parts to the table. That's why we have a movement. We got to be
personal, though. I'm not making it personal about how I grew up. I'm making it personal about how it is as a people.
But I'm just saying you generalizing and bringing in all the people, where I'm just saying that as a person who was one of the people, you know what I'm saying? That you was one of the people. That I had a different.
So your experience was different.
And there were a lot of
that's Sister Rashida right there that's talking, y'all. Sister Rashida, welcome to the conversation.
Walaikum assalam. It's deep. I'm a listener. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so assalamu alaikum, Rashida. Alhamdulillah. Continue on, y'all.
I'm sorry, everyone. I mean, one of us
go ahead, Bill. Yeah.
One of us has to talk. We gotta.
Yeah,
right. We always gotta make sure we listen to each other in the conversation. But I just think that it's very important to remember that we all had different experiences. But I do agree 1,000,000% that there was a different level of communication because of socialization, like Pop was saying, but then also, like you were saying as well, Blast, the community was more involved together in the process of raising up the family, raising up the children. So, yes, I just wanted to mention that. Sister Rashida, I know you jumped in. What you want to say, good sister?
Yeah, and I got a question.
Boundaries and values, and I will stop there. We lost value. We lost moral values, and I'll stop because I want to hear this. But,
so why do you say that it was money? I mean, you got to paint a picture for us.
All right, I'm going to paint a great picture for you. This is how hip-hop was created. Hip-hop was created from oppression. So no matter how much money we had or thought we had, we were being oppressed. And out of being oppressed, and this is everybody's story at this time, ain't nobody in a different space. And if you are in a different space, all you can do is listen, because this is how this was created. Hip-hop was created from oppression. We had nothing. That's why we threw parties in abandoned buildings. And in those abandoned buildings, we were so happy to be with each other that the buildings didn't even appear abandoned. We used to get electrical source from somebody's apartment or somewhere, a street light. Like it was, times was real. And so in this sense of being real is when we were a village, because we were all messed up. And we were all in this village of Harlem. We were all in this village of a city. We were all in this village of being Black, grouped, living somewhere. And I'm saying that when there was no money, we had more allegiance and love for each other until the money started separating us. And that's even seen in how hip-hop operates. Hip-hop whole operation is that.
It's about... Walaikum. Go ahead, sister.
But we had a culture before hip-hop. We had a culture before hip-hop, and the struggle didn't begin at hip-hop. So what hip-hop did was segue into the struggle in expression in every way, but during a time we had a value to respect each other, and a time we did have a village. We had a village. Then a lot of things took place, with family breaking up and wanting to integrate and be like Caucasians. Some of us still do. We don't know the value of Caucasian. And then when the schools got integrated and some of our children ended up going to school with them and found out that they were smarter than them, it did something to their self-esteem and their psychic. Like, I've been trying to get to this, and these children are dumb and nasty and this and this. So we struggled. The struggle didn't stop. It just made it detoured into a different direction of consciousness. And with the young children, especially out of New York, because, hip-hop originated in New York, but hip-hop was spreading so quickly around the country, it was like a COVID. Before if I sent my children to New York, and they were from Memphis, if I sent my children to New York and for the summer to visit Auntie so-and-so, and they were from Memphis, Tennessee, or sent them to Chicago, they had enough spirit in them to pick it up, and they brought it back. Like Philadelphia, if I sent my child from Philadelphia to go to New York, and they said, they doing this there, and they come back, so it was spreading quickly. But the condition of the value of life, we have been in poverty for a long time because there was no equality in economics.
So what did you think about hip hop? I mean, when it came down to your area, tell us where you from first, so that
right now I'm in Louisiana, but when I first heard about hip hop, I was in Florida, And then my parents moved back to Tennessee. We originated from Tennessee. And so when we got it, you know, even when I got to the point, I worked at community centers when I was young, and I had all of my students to do, my name is so-and-so, and I'm from so-and-so, and you know, we started out with that, because rap was just a way to express your identity. My name is Rashida, you know, and so rhyming was something children did in school, and they loved it. So it like I say, it was contagious.
Right.
It was contagious. But the media took it to another level because hip-hop started emerging with drugs and bad language, and it was permissible. So when the bad language is expressing who you were, that's why I said the moral values, expressing yourself, because back in the day, believe it or not, children played the dozen, huh? We talked about each other's mama, and we can go all the way back in the rap and the spoken word with Pygmy Mob and Mom Neighbor and all of them. So it didn't just start with hip hop.
Well, it evolved. It became a movement with hip hop. As a matter of fact, when Bill and Bell and around the time of just to let you know, through the time of DMX and all the rest of them, when they started doing it, they were playing the dozens with each other, but they weren't cursing. They weren't cursing when Bill say, yo, have no hats, your head must be dizzy, smoking Lizzie, yo, I can get both Lizzie with a Missy, crazy Lizzie, what is he, or Sissy, must be on Chizzy, or drinking whiskey, that's kind of risky, he on the Lizzie for the Dixie. There's no curse words in it, though. You know, so when they started off like that, but Bill and Bell, the question that I want to ask, did it start with NWA, the cursing thing?
No, cursing was always in hip-hop. It's just that it wasn't...
Come on, Val, you know it wasn't always in hip-hop. When y'all started off, y'all wasn't cursing.
So you asked me a question, I answered the question.
I guess you said somebody was cursing.
Right, I mean, like, you need to understand that...
But you know the history, Val. You know it wasn't cursing when it started.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying acceptable cursing. Because there were probably, you know, just like people use profanity, but was it acceptable in rapping? Was it acceptable in, because we know when the media got hold to it, they like, yeah, because Shay Thompson, he loved the media. He said, yeah, come on, you can express yourself, curse, and then, and again, at the same time, they segue that drug in. So,
okay, let's hear what Kivel has to say, because he said it was going to begin. I ain't got nothing else to say. Go ahead.
So again, you know, when we were outside and we were listening to hip hop was being expressed in different ways. Cursing was already in hip hop. Talking about certain things was already in hip hop. But what was spread out more so was the more party position kind of rap, because it was something that was being done in a bigger space. So like people who had more of that underground vibe would be talking that talk in different spaces, but it wasn't necessarily at the park or at the concert or at the jam. People were more so in party mode. And that was where hip-hop was at the beginning, more in the party mode. We're having fun. We're out at the block party. We're trying to create an environment of fun for everyone to come out and enjoy. And so that's what was propagated and pushed out into the community, which was great. Then there came a moment where it wasn't enough to just talk about how much you were partying, because, again, as you all eloquently have spoken about, we were going through actual trauma. And so hip-hop became, and this is one of the tenets where the Quick Hitters Experience uses it as an opportunity as MCs, people who want to say something, again, like in Let's Talk Real Quick, bringing voice to the voiceless. People in the early part of hip-hop were having fun with it, but then began to recognize it as a tool to express what they were going through in this trauma. And that trauma was much more real, much more connected to the experience that many people were having, the way that Bill was just talking about it. People were in abandoned buildings because the neighborhoods were abandoned. People were inside of these homes using electricity from the pole outside because people's Con Edison was off because we were in a labor issue in terms of unemployment. People didn't have the ability to go out to clubs because economically they weren't making money. So they created their own clubs, their own environments inside of the trauma-laced spaces that we had in our communities. But inevitably, not only the voices of joy had to be heard, but the voices of those who were feeling pressure that Bill spoke about earlier, that pressure, right? The pressure to be alive, the pressure to pay rent, the pressure to take care of your son or daughter, the pressure to be able to help your mother, or the pressure to even just survive every single day became the things that they began to write about. And this is where we saw the change when Melly Mel, when Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and Melly Mel put out the song The Message. It changed rappers from talking about just what the parties were like, just what the good times were like, into also reporting what was happening in our neighborhoods. And so it wasn't clean, and it didn't feel good to everybody because everybody was used to, I'm in the Sugar Hill gang.
And was there any person in the message?
And so they weren't used to hearing harsher messages. As the harsher messages came out, including that which had curses in it, which reflected a different level of trauma from
was there any curses in the message?
Can I intercede?
I just want to finish what I'm saying, Pop, because you don't want to hear the answer, which is...
I want to hear it, but we talking about, was there curses in the message? Say what you want to say. Were there curses in the message?
Music, because of the fact that those who were delivering the particular lyrics were individuals who didn't have the broader vocabulary, didn't have the ability at that moment to express it in a different way through using different vocabulary. They utilized curses. It was impactful. It brought forth the energy that people were feeling in terms of how distraught they were, in terms of how they were feeling about living in these neighborhoods that were being occupied by drug dealers and by gangs and by folks, and it was frustration. And the
You're right. It was a message.
It was a message.
But were there any curse words in the message?
Which everybody didn't agree with. But that is the thing about art, where we say art is not a crime, where people need to recognize that art is something that comes from an individual and can be interpreted by others in any which way they choose. Hip-hop continued to grow with the curses, with the imagery.
Were there any curses in the message?
Most dominant genre in the world.
Okay, so I'm going to have to answer the question. There were no curse words in the message. There were no curse words. None whatsoever. When you and Bill started, Bill, you got to give me a chance to talk, man. You dominate the conversation, man. Let me get a conversation. How long you gonna talk, man? Give us a conversation.
I'm sorry you don't want me to finish, but
I don't. When you gonna finish, man? Tick, 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 tick. Come on.
I'm sorry that on the show that we created, I can't talk the way you want me to talk.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
About this
Go ahead.
you're witnessing what happened when we actually then respecting one another. We cut each other off, right? So again,
still gonna come in here, man.
People do not want you to answer the question in the way in which you want to answer.
No, you didn't answer the question. Was there any curses in the message?
Every expression of the art form of hip-hop is one to be respected due to the fact it's coming from someplace where people have trauma and want to express it.
There were no curse words in the beginning of hip-hop. Bill, go ahead.
I agree with you, Pop. There was no curse words before until NWA really, started cursing and making it a big thing with F the Police and all this other stuff with how they were on. They were very vulgar. We weren't like that. We were very creative, and that's why they did that. What they did, they basically took hip hop from being hip hop started as what Val just said. I am this, I am that. It was declaration of being, somebody. I am is who God is. So when you declared I am, I'm the biggest, baddest, I'm this, I'm that. That's what hip hop started off as and what it was about. Yes, it was partying, but it was about, from each individuals, it was about I'm this, I'm the God I am, the God, So it was about being this thing. And in the beginning, it was about building. Everybody was different. Everything was creative, and everything was about empowering. Even the words that we used back then, we used words that identified us as strong, as kings, as gods, as people of power. And they saw that. And seeing that, they had to find a way to degrade us. And that's how NWA started with the degrading. And
when you started battling against DMX, tell us one of your rhymes that didn't have curse words in it, but it was just a battle, a diss. It was called dissing at that time. Tell us a little short diss that you used to do without that didn't have.
Yonkers, a ghetto kid named Bill, dropping bombs with slow bombs and locust hail. I'm real, like genuine leather. Big Timberlands for the cold, cold weather. 40 belows, 30 belows, and 20s. Puffy leather gloves for beef if there's any. I rock them, sock them. It was just stuff like that. We were.
Let me ask you a question, Bill, because I love this conversation. Bill, so all I need, the song we promoting, all I need. Pop, let me ask you a question, Pop.
All I need is exactly what we're talking about. It's about the old school.
And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I want to really be honest, right?
Okay.
Because we having this conversation and acting like, right?
Go ahead.
This ain't what it do. This ain't what it do. But
Go for it.
So all I need, Bill, explain why it is that you use cursing in your verse in All I Need.
Well, I was just being me in the verse. I put you guys on my song afterwards. It ain't like we all three came up with the song and to do this and that. I had a song that I did, and what my cursing is just the word shit, and I use shit a lot, to explain a lot of things. It's almost like the word.
Can I ask you a question, Glenn? Why do you use cursing?
I use cursing because people identify and understand. It's a language. It's a language within a language. It demands things. It lets people know how serious you are. It emphasizes a lot. That's why I use it myself.
Do you use
and I don't.
Can't you find a verb to cover with that? You ain't got to say that word. That word horrible.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on.
The man saw that Motown, soul songs, love songs was too much for them, so they
Jamila. Assalamu alaikum. Jamila. Assalamu alaikum. All right, go ahead. You can go. Yeah, go ahead.
There were love songs, how much we love each other and getting together and loving each other, and they see that making us too strong as a people. They're scared of the love of black people. That's what they're scared of more than anything.
That's a fact.
That we will learn to love ourselves. So they have to flip the script, and now they have us hating ourselves, calling ourselves B's and H's and SH's and all this kind of stuff. And some of that song that comes down on the airwaves, I can't believe it. It's really wow. Yeah, you really got through saying that stuff. This stuff is really mind-boggling. And they took the script, that's all. I don't listen to it. Anytime I hear it, I speak out against because it's horrible.
The point is,
it's unmakeable.
Walaikum Assalam. In the beginning, it didn't start with curses. Curses came afterwards. That's when the curses came in. And the other point is that when the curses came in, then the battle scene changed too. But you know, the other point that needs to be made about the beginning was this, is that Run DMC is one that really changed things around when he started, and when a sucker MC trying to prove a point. That's when the whole thing as far as battling came in. And if you notice, the rhyme with Run DMC, what was it? What was the name of that song that 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to sing some MC line. What was the name of that song?
Sucker MC.
Sucker MC.
It's called Sucker MC. So, but now look, the other part that goes with that was the music that went with that, because it was all drums. It was all drums, and when you play all drums, that's automatically used in battle. When armies went against each other, it was all drums.
With all due respect to Run DMC, they were a commercial version of what hip hop really was, because in the hood we had the Cold Crush Brothers who was doing everything Run DMC did way before Run DMC even thought about doing it. So they didn't bring it up nothing new. They just were the people who were popular with it.
There was music in it.
Yeah, but that whole stuff was way before Run DMC, Cold Crush Brothers, way before Run DMC, doing the same thing Run DMC was doing.
Right, you're right, but. Well, why do you say that they was doing the same thing Run DMC was doing? What could they do? Because that's
where Run DMC even got their whole profile from. All that stuff is Grandmaster Caz and the Cold Crush Brothers, when the Who's House and the Sucker MCs and the boom boom tap tap boom tap. Even that beat, that's action, and all the beats they've been cutting up.
There was music in it. It was music in it.
Pop, this is what I'm saying to you. I'm a real hip hop historian as you. And coming up, Run DMC was great, but they were a commercial version of what hip hop was.
All you sucker MCs who think apply, there's got to be a reason, and I know the reason. You probably know ass and act real cool, but you got to realize you're acting like fools. If we use it, we can use it. We need to dance. We ain't got no time for psychological affairs. Peace.
Peace. So the question I'm asking, was there music in the Cold Crush Brothers?
Yeah, the Cold Crush, they had DJ Charlie Chase and they were the pop. This is the epitome of what hip hop was in the streets. Because the Cold Crush Brothers and who they used to battle and how they used to do whatever they did, this was before any of the popularity, and before Sugar Hill Gang.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
also let me dive in real quick to say this.
Okay.
Remember that hip hop is based on the fact that it was being used as an alternative to the violence that was occurring in the Bronx between the gangs. So
it was the gangs. Yes.
Right. It was an opportunity. It was specifically utilized to create peaceful spaces in which combat could be executed, but not in a physical way. So that's what the DJs battles were. It was the two DJs battling from different spaces,
different gangs.
It's the same with the MCs. They were battling to establish dominance. The break dancers were battling to establish dominance. The graffiti writers were battling to establish dominance.
So when they
got the culture.
When did they start battling? They started battling with Run DMC's music, and then they.
No, Pop. That's why.
No.
I'm listening. Go ahead. Tell me. Tell me.
The Cold Crush Brothers was battling Harlem World and all. That's your time. That's what you as a Muslim, you know what I'm saying, doing all of that stuff. This was right about that time. And they was DJing in warehouses, all of that stuff, all in the park.
Where did breakdancing come from? It didn't come from Cold Crush Brothers. It came after.
Yes, it did. It came up in that time. Why you think they in the movie Wild Style, where they doing the graffiti and all of that?
That's
in 1970.
They're doing it in graffiti.
1975.
Yeah, graffiti, everything in Wild Style, everything in Wild Style. It's in the movie. The DJ cutting with the whole culture is right there. The Cold Crush Brothers is right there.
Right. Grandmaster Caz is in there. The whole Lee Quinones, you know what I'm saying, who was one of the pivotal graffiti artists who wound up, like downtown, who was inspirational to cats like Basquiat and all of those guys, you know what I'm saying, who wound up utilizing urban hip-hop culture to add into their particular art in order to make it feel more gritty and real. That's just how it is. The culture is one that has trauma, but at the same time is one which the experience, and this is where, I love these conversations, man. We talk about this stuff all the time. Me and Blast were together the other day. Always creating, always involved. We love the culture, and the experience is one where it's, how do you keep positivity in this? And the positivity in hip-hop culture comes from the fact that, we've been able to build families, generate wealth, generational wealth that has been able to support tons and tons of young people who no longer had to go through the experience of, having to get their lights from outside or having to see abandoned buildings. A lot of these kids now are growing up in suburban environments because their parents were able to take this tool, this wonderful tool that was provided through the creativity of our people to make it go to the highest form that it could go in order to have young people have the option to not have to be in the streets, to not have to get engaged in violence, to not have to have the rougher language be utilized all the time, because they're benefiting from their parents being able to generate revenue and put them in a position where they don't have to have the lives that have been spoken about and talked about over 20, 30, 40 years.
If you look at it, if the black people made $1 million on the record, the white man who took $5 million, the Jews, they control the industry. That's why they really control what goes out to the Jews. And they want the deface us and downrate us, and we can get away with, we can't get away with quote no other culture is racial name, but we can say the N-word anytime we can. So that's good in a way. But the man, if you make $1 million, the man then make $5 million on that same thing.
We are preoccupied a lot, and this is just my experience, so my opinion. We are so preoccupied with what others are doing, we're not paying attention to what was happening with us all the time. There is what Blast said earlier about living in the present and being in the present, knowing that where we are today is better than where we were yesterday. And in that, we have to, as a group of people, black folk, we have to really be preoccupied with ourselves. It is truly time to be preoccupied with ourselves because we are doing well in this world. We are not living in 1950 or 1960 where it was much harder. It is not the same today. And because of that, we have to make sure that we're living in our present space and moving forward in the best positive way that we can. It is important to have these conversations, and that is the reason why we're here on this platform, having these conversations to continue to share that knowledge across the board.
Well, wait, my son. Go ahead, Sister Rashid.
Thank you, Kivel. Today, getting into our here and now, today, being Muslims, being conscious people, we know now that we can live into the excellent, right? We know that we can live in a divine order We see these are words and things. We can be righteous people. These are things that in the language we never really embraced. So now we know we can be upright people. We can be magnificent, you know. We can be awesome for real, you know, because we're in a covenant. We're caretakers of the earth. We're Khalifas. And we're responsible. We have this responsibility, what direction the environment goes. We make the definition to who we are and how the world should be. Imam Wardi Muhammad said, remake the world. So he gave us an essence to remake the world. And so we know today, even when we step outside into the secular world or the Christian world or whatever world, because we got many worlds, and we incorporate these worlds, we integrate these worlds with us. So we have to get the best of things now. Our only goal is to worship Allah in the excellence. So how do we do that? So some things we have to die and let it die and give up so we can see the magic or the mystics or that invisible world. So, and have that passion. We got to have that passion to have the faith and the trust. Because if we don't, we won't get there, because it's a beautiful world. What did Louis Armstrong say? It's a beautiful world. Well, how did he know? So he knew because he got to that beautiful world. So we have to get to, it's a beautiful world. I'll stop there. But it's a process.
It's a process.
Assalamu alaikum. It's a beautiful world, that's true. And you can experience this beautiful world in your right mind without any drugs, cocaine, crack, whatever. I know when I went to a famous venue to perform, backstage they had a whole table full with cocaine. And like anybody wants to go sniff it up. But I'm drug free all my life. Never took none of that stuff. But I had a law since 16. So I was looking at all this coke. I said, no, that ain't flour. I went on stage and they booed me up anyway. But I bet you if I had been high, I would have got through. But I'm not going to partake of that drugs and the debauchery, be an amateur comedian. I'm not going to do it. I'd rather just be silent and tell my little jokes around the house, whatever, make people laugh in a circle, than to have a stage. And the sister told me, oh, Jamila, you cannot be Muslim and be famous at the same time. You can't be in show business and be Muslim. And I thought that was true, so I stopped it. And then Imam Bob had the radio program. He said, Sister Jamila, if you have a talent, it's your duty. It's your duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to share it with the world. And by the time he told me that, I was old and croaky. So I didn't know what to do. So that was it for me. But I did have a lot of experiences. People offered me drugs and shit, and I walked past it.
You still hear it?
Yeah, it is truly always amazing to be with you all and have these incredible conversations. That is for sure. We are so glad to have this other platform, the conversation, the experience, and the movement, where we get an opportunity to share the conversations we have all the time together, me, Pop, and Blast, all together, always talking. It gets intense, but it's what we need to do because we grow from the conversation, and we're glad that you are involved. It's running up on 150, man. Just want to get you
Yeah, well, you want my closing remarks? Yeah, well, alhamdulillah. Well, I would just like to say this was interesting conversation, always interesting. When me, Bell, and Bill get together, Sister Martha, Sister Rashida, and Linda, thank you all so very much for coming along with us on the ride and sharing your ideas and your thoughts regarding it is what we were talking about, alhamdulillah. Bill?
One more thing, one more thing. Make the dua for Imam Shakur's wife. She's in Egypt, and she's in the hospital.
Whose wife? Shakur's wife?
Shakur's wife is in the hospital.
Oh, wow, okay. All right, good to know. Thanks for telling us. about that.
Yeah, make a tour for her, inshallah. She make a tour. And make a mistake.
That's right. That's right.
Way out there,
Shakur does a Wednesday program called, Hadith Wednesdays, and his wife and her son, they went to Egypt, and they've been there for a little while, and she got sick, and she's in the hospital now. So may Allah bless them, as they come to get well and come back to America. Yeah, Bill, I'm sorry, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is bless and stay free and movement.
Ameen. Bell, you got 2 minutes.
I just want to say without a shadow of a doubt, really appreciate this. Continue to live. Of course, the motto here at the end of the day is God, self, family, the world. It's the only direction that we can go in. We don't move backwards. We don't go from the world, community, family, self, and God.
Yeah, and tomorrow again is Rashid Musa. Rashid Hafiz's funeral is tomorrow, October 13th, at Abdul Muxi Khalifa in Bedford Avenue. It's a good young brother. I call him a young brother because he was younger than me. He's probably, he could have been my son. But he's worked with us on a New Day for Al-Islam in America, and he was very involved in the community. I don't know, why what his sickness was or anything like that, but he passed. Rashid Hafiz, and his janazah is going to be tomorrow at Abdul Muxi Khalifa at 9 a.m. And so I won't be doing the 8 a.m. broadcast that I do on American Muslim 360 tomorrow, because I'm going to definitely attend this. I have to, honor this brother who I've worked with. And inshallah, tomorrow will be Ibn Yaqub Islam and Sister Khalila will do the program reviving the Quran and Sunnah. And so until the next time, y'all, I give you the greetings of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. But as we go out, what we're going to do. Oh, Sister Martha. Oh, I'm sorry. We got to recognize Sister Martha. She's been so quiet here in the background on us.
I've been enjoying it. I just want to say I'll be sitting in for William tomorrow morning, inshallah, as best I can. We're living in the upload life, so please plan to be there as our prayers go out to the family of our dear brother Hafiz and for him as well. So thank you, everyone, and keep on pressing.
Yeah, this has been Cultural Insights with American Muslim 360 and A New Day Community Radio. And so until the next time, we give you the greetings of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Knowledge of the soul, Muslim journal,